Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, depending on when you're watching this video and you're taking a look at it. This is another video for my 75 Days of Kingdom Hearts, and one thing I'm going to say real quick is I work graveyard shift at a fast food restaurant, which means after about 1 a.m., I get a lot of time to think, and that's where half of these theories are coming up from. It's me chasing a thought and not having someone there to tell me, no, Justin, bad. Bad, Justin. Stop thinking that. And my coworkers are just enablers. And I'm not even joking. All they will do is just let me keep rambling on about whatever I have on my mind at the moment. And tonight, they were not as helpful as they should have been, and they should have told me to shut up a long time ago, if you know what I mean. With that said, I think I stumbled into something accidentally because I was chasing a thread in this large web that is my brain, and putting things in order, trying to talk about it is hard. This is my 4th or 5th recording of this because I'm trying to get the thoughts out right. Or I mess up the opening, or I don't turn on my microphone, or something stupid like that. So one of the things that we're going to take a look at is the box art. Specifically, we want that part right there. Right here. Our Darkling. Why is the Darkling so important? The Darkling is important because he's holding a star. So, my theory about Ventus seen here being a puppet is probably not only false, it is inaccurate, and like I said when I talked about it, it's only the thinnest, the barest of connections to a possibility that because his body doesn't seem to have aged over the course of a decade plus, he is a puppet. But I'm not sure about that anymore. Because last night, while going through my crazy, crazy thoughts and how it happens and just the way my brain operates, I was thinking Union Cross may have taken place a long time ago, but Darklings are specific to that group of people. Darklings are those who have turned their hearts over to darkness. And these are the old Keyblade wielders of the past. Because they're the old Keyblade wielders, that's what they become. They become this thing right here. Sorry. Oh, there we go. They become that guy right there. Now, I forget who mentioned it because I watch a ton. Like my hours viewed on YouTube. Well, my time viewed is not measured in minutes, but in hours and days of how much time I spend on YouTube watching other people's content. So I think when this was first announced, someone talked about the possibility of this. But I think there's going to be a city of Darklings. An entire city of them. And this is why I was talking about him. Now, the noticeable thing, one of the things about the box here, is that they are all facing the same direction, which is kind of different. And that is something that's kind of different about this box compared to others where they were looking away or they were looking to a person. This is where I'm coming from. Xehanort probably didn't find a Book of Prophecies. Xehanort, and this is my new opinion on the matter, because we're going to be speculating for another 2 months here. Xehanort found where the Union Cross world was, where the sleeping world was. He awokened him. He awoke her. And awoke him. Now, that is something that's very specific. And it's something I thought that was pretty... When I first thought about this, I thought about how... So, we go back to what I was discussing about Xigbar. About... I'm pretty sure that video has been published. Yeah. It was under the Assumptions video. Which was like a few days ago. Or, sorry, In Your Heart or Owning Your Heart. A discussion. So, when we take a look at this, we realize that Marluxia and Larxene both come from the same place as well as Ventus. So when I was thinking about that, I was thinking puppets are probably not the answer at this point. Not because they don't seem to wield keyblades, but more than because for that to have happened, you probably have had that program running a lot longer than just a decade. And that is something that is super interesting to me. And I was sitting there thinking about it, and I was tracing this path, and I was tracing this train of logic. It was going 100 miles an hour, and I was on a horse that would spit fire following after this train because I wanted to know where it went. I believe he found the sleeping world. And what he found was a city of darklings. Which gets into this thought of mine about how many reiterations of the same world before you begin to go mad. A few people would have the sanity to keep it tight, but not everyone would have the strength of heart to continue to fight against the darkness. They would know that, hey, this is a big thing. We should probably take a further look into it. And that's when I thought about what it would take for a city of darklings to occur. And it would be basically the city collapsing in upon itself, with most of the Keyblade rulers unable to continue to reliving out the same days over and over and over again. So right now we're at story 810. So that's under 3 years, so you're reliving 2.5 years. And we don't know how long they live. We don't know how many Darklings were spawned. So the theory has evolved. The theory is now Xehanort found that city. And of course he's strong enough, and this would be when he was younger and he was not so maybe he was still infatuated with the darkness, but he was probably just exploring as he was supposed to. And this is where No Name comes into play. The reason a lot of this happens is because of No Name. Because No Name sees that city at some point. He knows it's going to happen. He assumes, and this is the biggest thing about the Master of Master, he assumes that time is in a fixed position, that anything he can do will absolutely be destroyed by, I'm going to say, cynicism and pessimism. That there's no way these people can continue to fight against their own darkness for centuries, for eons, for millennia, however long that they're in that place. They don't know how long it's going to take. They don't know the time frame. And because of that, it's just one after another. Larxene, and I'm going to call them by their organization name because I think her real name is Erlene, and it's Lorium, and it's Ventus. I still maintain we're going to see Breg there. Breg is, I believe, is to be Blaine or Brian, depending on the translation. And because of that, at some point, we're going to have to go through the city of Darklings. We're going to find that I think we're going to find that that's going to be the next world probably revealed. And I don't know if I'm going to use a clickbait title for this, because this is like something I've... When you think about something for like 6 hours, well, 4.5, but you know, it's been a long night, and I worked on Turkey Day, and Turkey Day, you'd figure people wouldn't want burgers, but we were packed for part of the night. Then I thought about the box art. And I thought about this little guy holding a star. When we think about this, specifically that, in Kingdom Hearts 1 and in, what was it called? Not Dark Passages or something like that. I don't remember the name of the cutscene, but it's when Aqua's talking to Ansem the Wise in the Passage of Darkness. It's gonna dwell on me, but I'm gonna putting that over there, over to my left hand side, your right hand side. I thought about this right here. Stars were representative of worlds, not distant solar systems, distant planets, and large gaseous balls of fire. They were metaphysical for the worlds that they were visiting. And Nomura loves to drop hints everywhere. It reminds me of Trick or Treat. And if you haven't seen that movie, it's a wonderful Halloween movie. There is a story in it that they just rub your nose in what's going on with it. From the beginning to the end of the movie, till the reveal of what's going on, they just rub your nose in what's going to happen. No thoughts, no questions, just everything. The words that are coming out of their mouth are just so laced with reveals that anyone who was really paying attention to it and not just enjoying it should have caught it. Now, with that said, this makes me think there's going to be a city of Darklings. That at some point we're going to visit it. What I don't know, what I couldn't figure out in my head, is a way to justify it still being Daybreak Town. And I don't think it's going to be Daybreak Town. I think it's going to be somewhere else. I think it's going to be on another world altogether. Not just the sleeping world of Daybreak Town or the Keyblade Graveyard, which it seems to be the same place. But I think it's going to be a completely separate world. I think we're going to visit it, and find out that Laurium and Erlene and Ventus all come from the same place, and we might have even more people who came from that same place that Xehanort recruited. And that's something that's really interesting, because what besides young Xehanort, Terranort, Ansem Seeker of Darkness, and Xemnas, which are 4 of the 5, or sorry, 5 of the 13, that leaves 8 more left he still would have to pick up. So let's get a little bold here. Let's make it spicy. Let's use some jalapenos, ghost pepper sauce on this shit. Sorry for swearing. It's the first time I've done it all day in this video. Scold. Brig, which I still think is Blaine. We have Laurium, Marluxia. We have Larxene, which is Erlene. That puts us at 8, leaving 5 left. Within those groups, Vexen might have actually been a Keyblade wielder at one time. With that, what about like Scold? So 4 of the Forerunners might actually be willingly working with Xehanort. And it could be because they felt betrayed by the Master of Masters. Now, this is a whole nother thing on why they would actually work with Xehanort. But let's revisit the list that a lot of people say is going to happen. So, 1, Xehanort, 2, young Xehanort, 3, Ansem, 4, Xemnas, 5, Xigbar, 6 is Larxene, 7 is Marluxia. Those are the 7 that we absolutely know. With the reveal of Dadariku, we can assume that's 8. That leaves 5 more left. You could take Skuld, Ephemer. That brings us up to 10. And all you need is someone like Vexen, 11. Dimix, if he stays a bad guy, 12. And you have one more space that you could take any, and they probably won't be generic. I'm just overstating the point. Any of the Keyblade masters, because the Forerunners aren't the only masters, I don't think. Take any of the other Keyblade masters from that world, a Union Cross character, and make them one of those characters. You could even go as far as saying the snake guy, I don't remember his name, and I apologize for it, still wanting to summon Kingdom Hearts. And literally, Xehanort and him are working together, and that's who the promise to see beyond the Keyblade War was made to. So there's a lot going on here. And this type of theory, and it all began from how long would it take for the Keyblade wielders inside of Union Cross to go insane repeating the same things over and over again? How long would it take for them to recognize that they are reliving patterns over and over again? Just because you didn't participate in the Keyblade War does not mean you don't basically have this these recessive memories that will eventually come up. You may have known you've been put to sleep, but do you know how many years you've been reliving the same days? Could the world that they're living in, that sleeping world, reset their memory and then just forget to do it once? And it just starts a chain reaction. So with this image, with the box cover, I strongly believe we're going to be visiting a city of Darklings. The world of the Darklings, the city of the Darklings. And I really did look online to try and find another theory about this, because I didn't want to rip anyone off subconsciously. And like I said, or I may have been on a previous recording that I threw away, it is very well possible, because I sit here when I'm off of work, and because I try to support the community. I watch videos that don't necessarily entertain me. I will watch videos, give thumbs ups for other content creators for Kingdom Hearts that are even doing top 10 videos, that are doing reaction videos, that are doing analyst videos, because they might think of something I didn't. But with that said, I think it is absolutely possible, and I think it is more than likely that the city of the Darklings will be a world. And Xehanort found this place probably out of just chance. Not because he was destined to, but out of chance, he found this city of the Darklings. He found that several of these people were still alive fighting the darkness. And he decided to recruit them. And you tell someone who's probably been fighting against literal darkness for generations. Because I don't think that the Union Cross days were like 100 years ago. I think it was probably thousands. You tell them that you will help find the Master of Masters in order to find the reason that this is happening, to find him. And all you have to do is summon Kingdom Hearts, and that will summon him. And you have an easy group, an easy way to lead all of these people down your path, even if it's only because there's a few mutual interests together. So with that said, I'm going to close out this video. Because it's a special video, I'm going to keep it short. Like, comment, subscribe, please. It makes me think that I'm doing a good job. It really does help my self-esteem. And it doesn't matter. I'm still going to make all the videos. But I'm just letting you know. I like interacting with you guys. However, please, if you can, donate to my Patreon. I am looking to get an Elgato. I am looking to buy a PlayStation 4 Pro with that any money that's donated. That way when I stream, no scenes are blocked by the PlayStation. So with that said, you have a good morning, good afternoon, and good night whenever you're watching this, and may joy be to you all.